I don't really expect to be remembered. That's way ahead of me. I'm still trying to just get good. If I get good, then I might say, I hope people remember how good I am.
If you get good.
Yeah. The idea of being remembered would be embarrassing to me at this point, I think, really.
You have a very humble attitude.
If you were me, you wouldn't think so.
Is there anything else you would want to cover? Any questions you always wish some interviewer would ask you?
Oh no, that's too wide, No, not really, especially not frets. I feel, I address the frets people. I don't know, I can't think of anything, but if anybody can think of any good questions, they're welcome to send me a letter. Ask me them.
Yeah, when you get, can I ask my questions about Clarence?
Sure, go ahead.
I'm doing a big
thing on Clarence.
On Clarence.
Oh
yeah.
Man, he was so great.
Yeah. And,
God, he was good.
And I knew you were a real fan of his.
And a friend.
I like. Anything you want to talk about Clarence? Your impressions about this? Did you play with? Did you pick? Did you?
I never played much with Clarence.
Yeah, you weren't probably not. You were just probably.
I was around him a lot. I was friends with him, like I say, but I just never got a chance to play with him very much. We weren't around each other that much. I mean, he lived down in L.A. and I was up here, but he was so good. His acoustic playing was really something. He's the guy that really set up modern bluegrass guitar players. He started them all going, and he had such an elegant rhythmic feel. There was something very special about his playing. I haven't heard anybody have that thing that he had.
Yeah.
This rhythmic. An elegance rhythmically that was just unbelievable. It was something real special. And I don't know. I mean, he's the kind of guitar player that just comes along once in a while.
Yeah.
He was something special.
Were you around him or hear him play when he played electric?
Yeah, I heard him in the Birds and stuff. Yeah, sure. Because we used to run into each other, and because when he knew me, I was a banjo player.
Right.
When we hung out together, I was a banjo player, and so Clarence was always a quiet guy. He didn't say much. He didn't talk with him. He was famous for never smiling on stage. Right. Did you ever see the smile he had on the back of his guitar? He had a smile on the back of his guitar. He'd flip it over at the end and. There'd be this big smile.
That like on his DAT?
Everybody'd say, "Hey, smile, Clarence, come on!" The back of his DAT.
You remember what his DAT?
And he'd play "When You're Smiling." When You're Smiling, right, it was great.
I've heard that.
Yeah, he had a great version of that. And then at the end of it, he'd flip it over, and there'd be this big smile, a big paper smile. Yeah, it was funny.
Yeah, it's been interesting because I've talked to a lot of people. That's what I've been talking. Roland and
Billy Ray.
Yeah, I haven't talked to Billy Ray.
That's the guy I see. Billy Ray. He's a great guy. He's in Colorado.
He's got the stories too.
Yeah, he's got a lot of good stories.
I think I'll probably have to talk to him.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun with those guys. They're great guys. Roland was a sweetheart. They're all good guys. They're all good to me too. Yeah, I put them on in a show in Palo Alto a long time ago.
I have the record.
Yeah, that's right. The record. That's right.
64 or something?
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
Oh, you put that show on?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't understand that. You were the producer.
I was the co-producer, yeah.
Wonderful. What you were as a part of your banjo, when it's a scam to get the colonels to town or something.
Sure.
Right?
Sure. Yeah. I wanted to bring them to town. I was always trying to turn people on to bluegrass. Nobody knew what bluegrass was in those days, Well, I was trying to turn them on to bluegrass. I turned on some people with those guys at that show. That was good. They were great.
Well, the thing about bluegrass in those days, it was reaching a real bottoming out stage.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact was...
Well, it was bottoming out on one side.
But, there were a few people into it. But a lot of them, they went off and rock and roll took them.
That's true. Rock and roll did take a lot of people.
Because the music wasn't flexible enough.
Right. That's it. That's why I went into rock and roll. Yeah, bluegrass was just too stiff for me. Though the banjo was. It wasn't blue. I loved the music, but the banjo was... I just went crazy on the banjo, I just... And right. Rock and roll opened out for me, and that same for everybody. I think
there were a lot of players. There was a whole young school of them, like
Rowan, and Dave Grisman.
David.
Yeah, right. They're all. We were all friends. We were all the same in the same.
Richard Green.
Yeah, we were all right. Richard. We had a lot of fun together. Richard, he's a funny guy.
Oh man.
We had a lot of crazy times together. See, because we all knew each other then, and we all hung out together.
Yeah.
We all got high together too, and that was the thing that got us all out of bluegrass, right? Because you couldn't stay high and play bluegrass, not really, and you wanted to play something.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah, that was the thing. So it was like, yeah, all right, that was the part of the development of moving on. But man,
have you been listened much or tuned into the new acoustic?
Oh yeah, sure. Tony Rice and all them, yeah.
See, Tony, I think is about as close to the Clarence.
Yeah, he's about as close as you can get, I think now.
With the tone and the timing.
Yeah, he's pretty close. Clarence was so inventive though, and it was all so new then. I mean, nobody, nobody had ever sounded like that ever. And so, Clarence it was him. It was something he was inventing, and just like Earl Scruggs and the banjo.
I never got to see him play acoustic.
Oh boy, he was good. He was hot.
But
like all good guitar players, it was one of those things that would look like the easiest thing in the world. It's like nothing to it.
Laid it down.
Yeah, it was just looked like the simplest thing in the world. Drive you nuts, It's just...
Yeah.
And his backing was so great too in a band, And when he played with the D28, his way of backing a band was real inventive too. He had all these great rhythmic things that were offbeat and real different, and really kicked the band right. Really, and he really kicked the music around too. He made it sound so hip.
Well, he made it good. Well, people will always contest the Colonels as one of the greatest bluegrass bands, and they were good. But Clarence was the one that made.
He was the one that was great.
He made it well.
Yeah, he was. Did
you ever hear Scotty Stoneman play with him?
Oh, sure, man. Are you kidding? Yeah.
Well, now,
I sweated blood when Scotty played. That was one of the highest moments in my life, man. Hearing Scotty Stoneman play some of those things, playing just one of those 8th of January, one of those tunes that went on for 15 minutes. It's unbelievable.
There's a record out with Clarence. That's a live record.
I know.
But they don't trade solos.
No.
Any cut.
No.
That's
you know why? I'll tell you why. Because when Scotty would play, everybody would just go. Really, everybody would be standing there on stage going. Everybody, even Clarence, everybody would be playing, and Scotty would go, and he'd be playing. Man, it was like, it was like so soulful, and so real, man, and so red hot and everything. And he was just so amazing, man. He was just, everybody would just go. All the musicians really, they'd forget they were playing. They go ching 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 for a while, and pretty soon nothing. One or two guys playing.
Do the real solo.
Oh God, it was incredible. I swear, I stood out in that audience, man, and everybody would be standing. And it was 15 minutes, everybody just standing there. Like that. It was unbelievable. Really, it was some of the highest moments I've ever had musically. Really, Scotty Stoneman was just God, he was magic.
Well, where did he just went down? Where did you have to go? Did he play up here? Did they travel?
I used to go to LA a lot, to the Ash Grove. They played the Ash Grove a lot. I went down there and watched them, and then Scotty died. He was so amazing. You'd ask him about something, he'd just say, "I just play it lonesome. I just play lonesome."
So he did, man.
Yeah, he sure did. Fuck, what a player, man. Oh, God. And he played things that were so incredibly brilliant, too. I mean, not only did they have all the fire and excitement in the world in them, but they were also so brilliant, man. It's just the solos he'd play in a tune would be just these incredible things. Oh, God, he was incredible. I was on the road and I saw a PBS channel was running this, vintage television, and they ran an Arthur Godfrey's Talent Scouts, from the 50s, and it was the Stoneman family. With Scotty is about 15 years old, and he'd already won 3 Grand National Fiddlers Conventions, and he's there with his ears sticking out and a crew cut, and they all had their little cowboy suits on, and you should have seen him, man, and he'd play that fiddle. It sounded just incredible even then, it was amazing, and it blew my mind. There was Scotty Stoneman, on Arthur Godfrey's Talent. They won, of course, too. It was unreal. It really was. It was unreal.
God, that is unreal.
It was. It blew my mind. It really did. It just blew my mind. With the girls too, with Donna and what's her name, playing mandolin yeah, it was really something to see Arthur Godfrey, and Scotty Stoneman. Then I thought of Scotty Stoneman drinking hair tonic and fucking dying in L.A. And so Jesus Christ, what a story, man! Talk about the country blues.
Yeah, man, that hard.
What a player, though. I mean, his solos on various records here and there are still the greatest things ever recorded in bluegrass.
Here,
Oh,
too, they find them funny places too. I bought like one of these.
A Starday sampler.
28.
Yeah, right.
Fiddle tune.
Yeah, right.
And there's Scotty Stoneman on 3 cuts.
Yeah, right. Just burn it.
Worth the price. It cost $3.98.
Right.
Old Starday release.
Just incredible, right? Just incredible, boys. He was so man. They always tell stories about him. How they had him standing. They were standing. Had him propped up in a corner. He was so drunk he couldn't see. He couldn't. They couldn't. He was too drunk to sit down. They had him standing up in some corner, and he played a solo. It was just so amazing. It was just, oh God, really, what a musician. Fuck.
You got to play with one of the real great ones.
Oh yeah, Vassar. Yeah, Vassar was great. I mean, Vassar is really a great guy. He's such a super guy. But Scotty bled. He had this power. He had this presence on stage that was really special. I mean, I can't explain it. I've never seen anybody who ever had anything like it before. But when he get out there and play the fiddle, it was like he was somebody that's 8-foot tall demon. Ram. God, it was something. That's why everybody would just go. They didn't know what the fuck was happening, really. And then he'd haul into the chorus, the melody that everybody knew, and they'd, right, we're playing. Come back and finish the tune. It was amazing. Nobody wanted to play a solo on his fiddle tunes. It was too awesome. Really, I've never seen anybody musicians go. They just be paralyzed. And he had some of the very best playing with him too. Clarence White, for example. Yeah. Clarence did. No, he wouldn't play. He wouldn't even stick a chorus in there. Yeah, right. It was just when Scotty was playing, that was it, boy. Yeah, he was really, and he was sick then too. I mean, that was the year he died, and he was.
How old was he? 40?
No, he wasn't even 42? In his 40s. He was in his late 30s, if anything. He wasn't even in his 40s. He didn't make it that far. It's that thing of he started playing when he was 14 or something, right. Bars, 12 or something. Started drinking right away. So by the time he was 20, he was a total lush, but still his playing was unparalleled. They gave him the prize to the Fiddlers Convention in Union Grove. The Grand National Old Time Fiddlers Convention. They gave it to him in advance. He won it 8 years in a row. Yeah, something like that. If he was going to enter, they knew he'd won. So they didn't even bother.
That's like Mark O'Connor. That's what Mark O'Connor is now. Yeah. God.
Yeah, Scotty was really something, boy. Boy.
So you had a pretty intense bluegrass thing for a number of years, didn't you?
Yeah. Oh, I loved it, man. I loved it.
It is intoxicating.
Great music, really. And then it was right. It was one of those special moments too. It was right, and they were all still happening. All the classic bands were still.
They
happening.
Were there, but they were at the tail. I mean,
they were just. It was just at the very end.
Not when I got it. Out there really doing it.
Right. When I got interested in bluegrass, it was 1960.
Right.
And by the time I was into rock and roll, 65, it was over.
Yeah.
And I mean they were already all disbanded. The classic bands weren't together anymore. Reno and Smiley had split up. I mean, everything.
Jimmy Martin.
Yeah, it was just everything was different. But I was just in there for that.
You got the real gold.
Yeah, I got a little moment of classic bluegrass, and it was great.
And you got a taste of the bluegrass festivals, huh?
Yes.
Festival system.
Yeah.
You didn't make hits as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Sunset Park and some of those other places.
But by the way, I noticed that Olden in the Wave's been re-released.
Yeah.
Sugar Hill.
That was a good band. That was a great bluegrass band.
Had some good pickers, man.
Yeah, it was really fun. That was my chance to go through that was my chance to kind of like tie up my bluegrass karma. You know what I mean? That was the band I would have wanted to play in back when I was playing.
Yeah, right.
But the opportunity never came up, so it was one of those things. And,
well, just give it a shot.
Yeah, right. I was always happy about that. Okay, that's it.
We did. Now I'm actually going to make you move one more time, man. I got to get the chair over here. Let's close the door. Okay. There you go.